So we're moving on with the series, and at this point we're going to be doing the, it looks like we're into the LCD screen and everything. So if you're here for an i3 Mark III build, you're in the right location. I'm Ron, and this is my place. Welcome back, and we're getting ready to start off. I've got my parts together, and same routine as before. Focusing on the build, we'll do the LCD screen, and then I'll probably move into the next piece of it. So right now, I'm just kind of gathering all the piece parts, and it's a pretty short one. This is kind of nice after the extruder. That was definitely a bit more. So I've got all the videos going, but boy is it going slow. The uploads and everything are just crawling. So I've got, obviously sections 1 and 2 video done. I've got sections 3 and 4 video done, and section 5's encoding, but it's none of those have fully uploaded yet. So basically everything's getting used at once. That's how short it is. All right. Be sure the cables are plugged in the correct order. EXP1. To the one with 1 stripe, and the other EXP2 with 2 stripes. So, just like the board says, 1 stripe, 2 stripes. The old ball game. All right, getting a little punchy. I cannot believe that one guy did a straight build non-stop. That would be insane. Because this takes a little while. I mean, I'm not trying to fly through it or anything, but it's a lot. In fact, I'll probably finish this up and start up again tomorrow morning. But anyways, assembling the supports. All right. Slide the support parts on the board. Okay, so we have this. Ow. All right. So there's that one. And there's this one. Ow. That's 2 owls. Press the controller almost forgot. Let's see if there's plastic on here. So this goes there, this goes there, this rolls there. So must click under the support in the center. I see that. I see. I say I see. There we go. I was confused as to what was the holdup, but it all becomes clear. All right, so it clicked under. So now we're just trying to see if this will actually screw on here. Well, what the hell? The heck? They are not lining up very well. Kind of makes me wonder what I missing here? So far the build's been going pretty well. Few little issues. I think I had one bad part. It was salvageable, but at some point I'll need to print another one. The hardest part has been with the printed parts. Most of them are absolutely fine. Just a few of them, especially the black parts, for whatever reason, feel like they're I don't know if it's the filament or it just happens to be the printer that was printing them, but it was like it wasn't quite calibrated right. So it caused some issues. Me not paying attention a few times. Didn't help. But all that was pretty easy. Didn't really cause any problems to speak of. My thumb's getting sore. Yes, I'm whining. Squeak. It sounds like it's tight, but it's not. OBS didn't like the sound of that squeak. Alright. Alright, so that's good. Yay. Okay, now we're going to place and get all nutty. So now I'm just putting some captured nuts in there, and I'm assuming we will be putting it on the front now. Okay, so now it's saying to basically we're going to put 4 screws through here. They don't thread, they're just sliding right through. And then we're going to snug these bad boys up. It's looking like a Prusa. Right. So now we press the knob on. Yay. And I bet we put the and we'll pop that LCD in, or the SD card in as well. They say to wait, so we'll wait, Dad. Nugget. All right. That was it. I think we have, what do we have left? Heat bed, and then we start working the electronics. All right, I will continue on with the heat bed. I may do that a little bit tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, so we're back again. I'm glad I checked the video because everything kind of got all messed up and it wasn't recording. So all I've done so far is I started gathering some of the parts. The bigger of the two for the cable management, the actual part for the heat, or the heat bed, strain relief, the last nylon filament for strain relief again, and then a nut and a screw. And I believe that's everything. Seems to be. So anywho, all sorts of really awesome information I think I gave before. Not really. You don't get that now, so thank technology. So anyway, so here we go. We're getting ready to start. Everything looks like it's happening and good and every whatnot. It is the next day and it's the morning, which is probably why I'm having problems. But we'll get there. Let's finish this bad boy. So here we go again with the filament. I get the concept of them wanting to use the filament, but I'm not certain that I like it at all, actually. Okay, so we have this. So basically all we're doing on this, that we're creating a point. We're making a point to make a point. I cannot figure this out. There we go. Ow. So now we are pushing the filament in the hole from the next side. If we're not careful, we can easily break the printed part. We want to make sure it's printed or curved up. Or in this case, because I am that way, I'm going to curve down. And here we go again. Didn't do awesome last time that we had to do this. Theoretically, this should be easier. More direct. Oh, that went just flawless. Why couldn't the other have done that? Yeah, the one that was in the for the cable here. Ugh, I did not enjoy that. Not a high point of my Prusa build by any means. This one actually went fine. I was prepared for the worst, and it wasn't bad at all. It was okay. And for the most part, we have the curve exactly like they said. So we win. And we're going to put a... Now we get to put a nut in here. So it looks like all the videos are finally uploading. Been taking forever. They're big videos because I was recording kind of higher res. So I was reporting it at like 60 frames. And I mean, the resolution and everything's good, but holy cow, where the file size is getting kind of big. And I don't have bad internet. I mean, unfortunately, uploads are always kind of shitty. Poor. Maybe I'll actually flag that and get rid of it. Trying to watch my language. Not that it really matters, I suppose. But so anywho, I don't know. We'll see. It recorded. It went through. Everything will be okay. It just took forever. I mean, I have had section 5 going for a while now, and it's still recording. So this one is probably the worst fitting nut of the batch. Just making sure I get it kind of straight. So per the instructions, I'm using the nut, slowly pull it in. And it worked flawlessly. So anyway, yeah, it takes, I mean, we're talking hours and hours per video. I mean, sections 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, both those videos are up. But it took many hours. It's crazy. It took almost all night for one of them. It's obviously my upload speed's got to be it, and then you know we're talking huge file sizes. So whatever. I don't do that many long ones like this, but that's one of the reasons I think why people stream, is because then it's quicker and easier. That's okay. It's another one of those textured ones, but this is like a finer texture on the printed part. I don't know if you can actually see that. Yeah, you can a little bit. This webcam is just not awesome at focus. Oh well. Speaking of focus on what you're doing, Ron. Finish this up. So place the heat bed on cover on. So it's saying to place this like so. So, big surprise, we don't want to pinch or break any wires. Why would we? What did I do? Did I knock it off? Probably. Because I'm stupid, but I've got a spare one floating around here, so this one will be just fine. Heat beds are always kind of one that I pay attention to because it can go bad if you're not careful. You need to always be kind of cautious with them. Just pay attention, make sure that you're not pinching anything. I mean, this is all insulated type materials, but you don't want to accidentally pinch anything, char any wires. I mean, you're dealing with a decent amount of power here when you're talking about a heated bed. That's probably good. Runaway mouse. So now we're dealing with proper cable management. So this is the thermistor wire. I assume they want it. Don't stretch the wire, leave some slack under the bed so when the heat bed moves it doesn't get stretched. So they're basically wanting to wrap it around, and probably for strain relief. So you can see it here. See, what they don't want is that. See how it's tight? They don't want that. They want a little bit of slack into it. But you don't want so much slack that it's out like that. Just a little bit of, it's all about strain relief. You just want to give it a little bit of flex room so as it's moving back and forth, it doesn't cause issues. And then they also wanted to wrap it around, they said a few times. I'm like, okay, it's gonna unwrap, but we'll work with this. And photos are really good. I mean, make sure, I know we're all guys and, well, not all of us are guys. I apologize. But you get my point. We don't like directions. But I highly recommend it in this case. I really do. Alright, so now we're going to use the spiral wrap and get rid of my glasses because now these are annoying me. And we're going to use the spiral wrap to wrap the cables, including the nylon. Start by 1 or 2 wraps, centimeter behind the heat bed cover. When the first wrap is ready, slide it inside the heat bed cover. Continue with the wrapping. Do not cut the filament. You'll need the full length. Okay. Alright. I don't like cable management, by the way. I mean, I understand the usefulness of it, and I understand the need for it. I worked field service for 20 years. It makes things look pretty. Get it? Doesn't mean I have to like it. Didn't like it then. Still don't like it. Some people, it's like a mindset. Some people really like it. Some people just thrive off of it almost. They just want it to be absolutely perfect, and they're usually, it's like a skill. That's really what it is. It's actually a skill. And apparently one that I don't possess. Not well, anyways. So, that went well. So it basically, you wrap a couple. I got my little loopy loop there. So you wrap a few, and then you slide it up, and it actually slid up nicely. Yeah. So then I'm just gonna continue on down, trying not to break anything. And it does say to make sure you include the nylon. It's interesting that they use that. I wonder if everybody, I don't know, it's the first one that I've had that used that, but I like the idea. It's kind of a cheap, easy, accessible piece. Now, one thing they did note is don't get all fancy and get to the end here and then cut anything, because apparently you need the whole length. Of nylon, so I'm sure that's all for a purpose. All for a purpose. Very nicely looking. It's actually impressive. That actually turned out really well. Okay, yay me. So we've got that up there. It's all pretty and wonderful looking, and now we're going to use our infamous zip ties. Oh, I'm gonna go the same directions they did. Almost every time so far they've had a reason behind everything. Place the zip tie around the heat bed, cover tight by wrap. There's a channel. Yep, there's a channel right in here that you're gonna slide the zip tie into. I can confirm that. Do not over tighten it. You might pinch or break the heat bed wires. Should be snug around the stem to hold them in place. Cut. Doesn't actually say where. So there, perfect. So let's zip it down so it's manageable. And then we're gonna do this. And we're gonna do that. I'm just kind of pushing through a little bit once I snug the zip tie up a little bit, and then you push through. So I don't know if you can see, but it's actually the strain relief and the wrap is actually up there beyond the zip tie, and then I'll give it a little pop, and I'll just for purposes of making it pretty, I am doing it to the side. And trim it. Yay. Next up. Oh, here we go. Following steps, prepare a whole bunch of screws, 9 of them. And the screws are cut for countersunk. So the taper head. Obviously you kind of don't want a bunch of bolt heads sticking up out of your bed. That would defeat the purpose of a flat bed now, wouldn't it? bunch of spacers. They do not. In fact, there was a comment on one of the videos about the spacing between the y-axis, the gantry, or whatever you want to call it, and the rails. And it's amazing how tight it is. They don't give any room between the gantry and these rails. It's really tight. You barely clear when you like coming across this. God, that's noisy. That's another comment that was made, and I agree. But anyways, you barely clear the width of zip tie. It's interesting. So anyways, so we have a bunch of screws and whatnot. Due to an update in manufacturing process, your kit might come with 12 millimeter screws instead of 14. Functionality remains unchanged. Well, now I need to know. I don't need to know, but now I need to know. Yes, I'm using a caliper to see the length of the screw. 14. So I must have got the good ones. Alright, so we have all of them, and now we're mounting the heat bed. Oh boy, here we go. We're actually mounting it to it. So push the Y carriage to the front and place the heat bed behind. Locate the center hole. Place the spacer on top of the hole. And then you put a screw through one of the screws through the center hole, and then you're using a Allen in it, and you're going to use that to align everything. Oh, so they're using an Allen instead of the screw to align the spacer. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. I'm going to do it, I think, in front of me, so you all can maybe see me and laugh hysterically, because I'm anticipating irritation in my future. We'll see. I'm going to want to put it this way. It's getting heavier. I'm thinking it's about almost as heavy as it's going to get, though. Wire, get away from there. Thank you. All right. Those can just kind of droop down there. That'll be fine. So, there's that. And then this goes through like so. And I know normally I know what they said, but you know. Okay, so we're gonna pull this way, push that way, set this there, and which Allen is it? It is that Allen. Because I don't follow directions well, I'm going to magnetic. Can't focus that close. Old eyes. So we have that. So all I'm doing is I put it through the spacer and I'm using the whole multiple hole thing. So I put the screw through the spacer, and then it was in the ballpark, and then I just used my eyes to eyeball. And once you line up a couple of the other screws, it really has no choice but to line up. So either concept will work. Oh, it looks like a printer. Look, it looks like a printer. Anyway, so we tightened it. Just now, we're going to basically do the rinse and repeat. All right. If you know something this simple has that many steps dedicated to it in the manual, must mean that it's going to be frustrating as all get out. And again, in my opinion, this is only going to be the first two. The rest of them should, for the most part, line up after two are in place, unless there's a machining problem. Which, from what I've seen so far, I seriously doubt there'll be a machining problem. Let's put one back here. Magnets. Not a problem. So let's get one on this side. Now it's held up like a real bed. Yikes. There's magnets in this bed, and they're doing their best to annoy you, the way magnets do. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Come on, get out of my way. Two more to go. wasn't nearly as hard as I expected. So it's that whole hard standoff instead of springs and whatnot because of the auto bed level. So that's good. I have the same thing going on my CR10. It's obviously a bigger bed, but seems to work fine. Well, for the most part, there's a few little issues, but oh gosh, here we go. Time to contort. Easy peasy. So now they have a specific, that screw hole's decent. They have a screw pattern they want you to follow. And they want you to tighten them in a specific order. They want to tighten the center. And then they actually have a color-coded thing on the color-coded picture. That would be that thing. So they want you to do the center. Are you actually able to see, or am I annoying as a video person? So they want you to do the center, and then they're specifically calling out these four, and then you do your outer corners last. So, because we follow directions, that's what we're going to do. But here I said I didn't like directions, and I really don't. I want to figure it out myself, but certain times you just go, yeah, I'm gonna. And I try to always cross tighten. Just provides a nice even pull down. Just looking at cable management. Of course, I don't like it, so it's the piece that I dread on all printers. Grief. Yeah, this one wasn't, that screw was kind of not super easy, and it actually had kind of a funky head. Mark 52 heated bed. So that was the 4, and now I'm going to do the outer 4 corners. So the inner 4 sides, and now the outer 4 corners. Make sense? And I'm making it pretty snug because obviously you don't want your bed to move at all. Not even a little bit. Well, you want it to move. Why? But controlled motion only. Anything else is bad, bad, bad. Ooh. Sadness. It's interesting. That kind of concerns me. Why are things not geometric? Maybe they are. It's just the way it because I was able to spin the other one without an issue. This one, it's like it's barely ticking, so hopefully that's not an indicator of a square issue. Because that's still in the back of my head, the problems I had with getting the frame square. I wouldn't say problems. I think it was a bench problem. It's just, as you're building, I mean, it's very important you have a very flat surface. And unfortunately, I think I found out that my bench here is a little bit warped, especially maybe at the end. It's heavy wood. You wouldn't think it would be, but I mean, it's kind of old, and it was a hand-me-down, we'll say. But anyways, so I used that. I tried the bed here, or this table, trying to compare, and then I was getting differences, and then it's like data samples, which one's right. So then I went out to another bench that I used up different pieces of it. It's just like this one, and it seemed flat all the way across, and then I broke out it was, yeah. Put more effort into that than anything else on this build, it seems like. So hopefully it works out. So now we got those all good to go. Woohoo! Electronics, we're into the power supply. So we need the supply we have here. And then we need a couple M4x10s, which we have. Excuse me, those are the M3x10s, and these are M4x10s, which we also have. All right, so I need to rotate this bad boy so I can actually get to something. We're starting to run out of space. Having some space issues. Need bigger bench, apparently. That, or I need to spread out less. Probably the wisest choice would be that. But there we go. So locate the 4 mounting holes in the YZ frame. So when they say 4 holes, they're talking about 1, 2. Come on, work with me, don't work against me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place the power supply on the frame and secure it with the M10 screws. Don't tighten them completely. So what's their trick for the bottom ones then for alignment purposes? Ah, see? They have an answer for everything. So I am assuming that it's going to go under. It would be easier on the wires to do so now versus later. Again, I'm assuming that this is what's going to occur. I'm pulling a screw out from either side because it'll end up getting pulled into that. So and then we're just trying to get one started, and then we will get the other one. Where'd it go? Oh, of course. Stay. So if you've got to move your Z, make sure you do both about the same. You don't want to get them all cattywampus from each other. Mine was just slightly. Murphy's Law right where I needed it not to be. Don't tighten them completely. Yes, I will not tighten them completely. Now, slide the holders under the PSU cover. I'm going to sneeze. So it's basically saying that we're doing just exactly what I just said. We're basically hang it with the two, and then you're now leaving things loose so you can wiggle it around a little bit and drop your wrench, etc. You want to kind of get all of them started. So you're going down into the keeper and you want to be able to move things around and till you can get screw started, which yay I did. Kind of a neat setup they got here. So those are good. And I'm going to now snug up these. That one, that one. And this one, and there's a gap here, so you don't, and this is a printed part, so don't go torquing it down. All right, I mean you want it snug, of course, but it doesn't need to be overly tight. The heat bed and PSU are done. Yay! One more chapter and assembly's done. It's going to be the booger, I believe. Moving on to electronics. All right, I'm going to restart this one. Start the video to the next one. Okay, so electronics. Now we need to get rid of some of that. There is not many pots left. Not many parts at all. Ooh. so want to put it on there. Set it up. Anyway. Alright. I'm just kind of going through my parts. There's really not much left. Okay, so now we need, I'm assuming it's going to be over here is where we're going to be working. Right here, it's kind of in the middle, so that'll be perfect. I'll have to stretch, but I can do that. So we need this. This. And that. Yay. And then we need, I've been keeping all my bolts, anything that has a couple extras. I've been keeping individuals. Just out of curiosity, yes, so probably OCD a little bit. I just was overall curious on how the entire QA portion, because obviously in the perfect world QA you would have the exact amount of parts for exactly what you need with a spare bag. And they did really well in comparison to other things that I build, but there is some extras, so that's lost cost, which means that they are not making as much money as they could. Marketing, well, business, whatever. Okay, where did they go? Oh, I think I saw stuff in here, yes. So they have one box specifically for, I can't see, the electronics, and inside such box is the board, and the bag, the last one. And said box is gone. Yes, I gotta clean all that up. That's okay. So I am looking for an M3NS nut, which would be a square nut. Remember, square nut, not regular nut. They got me once, they will not get me again. And then two M310 screws. Okay, so we have what we need. I really actually like their assembly directions are actually just really good. Everything, I mean, they have the step to get all your parts together. This is everything you're going to need, and then they go through and use it, and then you do the next one. It's really, really well made. You can tell they put some effort behind making a good user manual. So now that you insert, oh, I did it out of video. You basically insert, there, the square nut into the square hole. It just slid right in, no issues whatsoever. Fine, I will do what you asked. Yes, it looks good. We're identifying some mounting holes. It looks like it's this one and this one for the Rambo style, or the cover. Take the Rambo cover hinge, it looks like the small one, and push it through. The correct way, not the incorrect way. One side has no recess, the other side does. Obviously, you want the one with the recess. And then locate the hole for the lower hinge. I think we've already covered that. And place the hinge on the frame and tighten the screw. The hinge must be facing upwards. So it is going to be this one. It is going to be this one. It is going to be this one. Come on. You can do it. My thumb's getting sore. I think I said that yesterday. And the ball's not the best quality in the world, but I mean, it's free. Well, it's included in the cost of the printer, so is it really free? So we need to rotate it up. Fully OCD. Snug her down. And now we are going to place the Rambo cover over it. Like so. And we're going to do the same. And again, we're going to make sure we put it in the recessed piece. And then you're going to do the hinge thing. Yay. That actually lined up better than I would have expected, actually. Very nicely done, Prusa. Very nicely done. Okay. Before proceeding, I always like that, but first. So now we are doing the remaining spiral wrap, and it said it is shorter So I assume they're telling me that so I don't freak out and go, oh my God, I have the wrong part. Okay. This is a very well-dressed printer. I must say they've thought through. So far things are looking kind of nice. Hopefully the trend continues. Purdy. All right. Looks like the picture. The Tronxy Rambo board. Yay. Rumor has it this thing's bloody smart. Yeah. I know. I could actually hear you sigh. And those that didn't sigh rolled their eyes. Got it. So there's two designs of the Tronxy board. See the pictures to recognize the version that we have. What do we have? We have the daughter board version is what we have. We have version B, which is part of the daughter board. So you'll see it in the manual, but these connectors, because they're part of a daughter board, that's version B. If there was version A, these two connectors would be actually hardwired on. It's got to be a reason, but it is what it is. Don't remove the daughter board. They mean it. It's in red and boldface. So preparing. We need these, and then we need six M310s. Oh, nope. Dang. I seriously think they're going to bat 100. Bat 1,000? Bat 1,000. They're going to actually get literally every single part in the bag needed. Haven't even had to open the spare yet. That's impressive. Good QA. Absolutely good QA. Except for that part. Right? Here? Yes, here. Still annoys me. Only miss so far. Only major miss so far that I found. QA seems to be absolutely spot on. All right. You know, and I'm not really a fanboy, I don't think. I mean, I don't have enough attachment to Prusa to be a fanboy. I really appreciate a good, solid built piece of equipment with great instructions and good quality control. It's awesome. So now we're preparing the exciting board mounting. We are inserting, dum dum dum, some no. The 3D printed part thing is still the only kind of issue, and I get why. But it's not, for whatever reason, it's not really all that conducive sorry, to press fitting these kind of things. And I actually found that for the first time, I'm kind of in the beginnings. I'm going to do one of those open RC builds because I got a bunch of RC pieces and I enjoy it, and it's another hobby, and obviously I don't have enough to do. So anywho, I noticed that when I was doing it, I can't remember Noré, I think's his name. But anyways, he does the open RC thing, and part of his thing is he provided a test print, if you will, which I thought was really neat, and it taught me a number of things. And it was all about making sure, because I guess that they use the press fit a lot in the build, similar to this. And if your printer is not calibrated well, I was using the CR10, mind you, things don't print well. And yeah, I know nobody's here to deal with that, but in case you're interested, because it's on topic, this is the piece that was printed, and it has all these different capture points, and it's really a good calibration print. So I had to print a couple of them, and I learned that my printer was over extruding. I didn't think I was, but I was. So that was kind of interesting. And then I got one printed that looked like it was beautiful. And then I just have to wait and see. I haven't done the build yet. All right, so tighten the screws carefully. You can damage the board. Oh, don't jinx me. Don't jinx me. Darn you. So the angled, dropped it. Okay, so let's work on getting these things pressed in a little bit better. So it's angled like such, and they want this to be like such. There we go. Easy, Ron. Not the time to be clumsy. So, pro tip, we're using the, come on. Boy, I need some more coffee, I think. So you can use the screw heads on these. It's just like a little mini game in itself. It's the reason I never played Operation. And you use that to help put them in. It will save you an enormous amount of frustration. And it all seems to be lining up quite nicely. Now making them snug, keep going out of frame, I apologize. I don't think it's going to kill your printer though that you don't see me. So as you're doing it, you want to be watching the back because it's helping pull them in, but you just want to, you don't want to overdo it. Kind of snug them in. We don't want it rattling around and adding noise to our printer. All right, because that's what we have apparently linear bearings for. Did I say that? All right. So now we are mounting the base to them, and we are putting them here. Apparently you put these in because they're like gonna slip in. So we get her started. And we get her started. Make sure you use the correct screw holes. They kind of line up with the previous ones you put in. And now we are, before mounting the base to the frame, take the cable from the y-axis and plug it into the INC. So looking at the board, it does not appear to be labeled. Quite often boards will be like silk screened with what connects where, and I cannot see well enough. I apologize. I have bad vision. I am incorrect. It does show the, yeah, your power connectors here do not say what they are. Looks like the connectors are actually over the top of the silk screening. But if you look at the other connectors for like your in-stop stuff, which we don't have in-stop, so I'm not sure what plugs in everywhere. But anyways, so it looks like it is deeper on the board, but the connectors are in the way of it. So, anywho, I digress. It shows, though, that it goes to the far end. So it's going to be, and I'm assuming it's difficult to put in once. So it snaps into place. Do a quick visual. Of it. Assuming it's going to be harder to put in once it's in place. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, it's because it captures. That's what it is. Because it captures like such. We will go like that. And then it's going to go like that. And you all can't see. I just did it again. Oops. I did it again. Seems to be this one is the culprit every single time. It's these feet. If you don't follow directions and you try and slide, so you are going to all right. Push the spiral wrap in the slot. Okay. So now slide the Rambo cover base onto the screws. And then we are going to, well, that's humorous. So apparently you somehow come in from the side. I apologize, you're seeing my ear and my bald head. Yes, I have the same barber as 3D Maker Noob. He just pulls the baldness off better. Just gotta own it. And then there's the one down below. So all we're doing is popping these in. So now only thing that I really can add there is, keep getting distracted because I'm seeing comments from my other videos going across the computer. I should shut that off. I have to try and go back. I try and make point to answer all the comments, and I obviously missed a few things during the build, and I apologize. I'm not a professional. Please try this at home. But anyways, I'm gonna go through and see if I can answer back. In fact, this one was from Chris. Yes, something or other. Apparently I didn't show how I ended up solving something. I will reply and see if I can answer the question. Eh. Ugh. I have heard that that is unacceptable. That's gonna have to be fixed. There's something in there. Hear that? That's something in. That is something in the power supply that is rattling badly. That is going to drive me nuts. It's funny, it's all about vibration. You hear that? It just happens if you touch the board over here. And I'm assuming... Yeah, anyway, that's going to drive me nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yes, it will. We'll get to it. Alright, I may have to take that apart because that's going to be absolutely horrible. But it'll be easy to take apart later, I guess. Power switch off. Okay, so we have the cover slid, we tightened it down, and now we move on. In the following steps, we're going to manage cables. Yuck. On the printer, they've tested several ways, and this seems to be the most efficient. Tighten all zip ties carefully as we may break stuff. Turn the printer on the PSU side and start from the bottom all the way to the top. Okay, we can do that. Not a fan of this. Nothing holds it closed? Oh. No. Okay, it's going to come from this side. Good. I'm a fan again. Now I guess I'm just looking for problems. So, we're going to take this and we're going to go like so. And like so. So, forgive me while I'm trying to figure out how. I'm going to let you see what I am doing. I'm going to redo a view, I believe. And bear with me, I will be back. Alright, so this is a little bit better view. We'll see how this all works out for us. If it sucks really, really bad, I apologize ahead of time. I am trying. And I've got cables all over the place. Alright, so we'll make the best of it. We'll make it work. So, starting with the Z motor, it's on the bottom. Let's sweep this bad boy. Slide the zip tie through the circular hole to create a loop. Careful, don't over tighten. Cut the remaining part. What the heck are you talking about? Oh. So, I'm going to need a bunch of zip ties. So they're saying that you go right in here, these two holes there. Sorry. So it's basically going up, over, and down. Really not a fan of cable management in general. This is going to be annoying, I think. So let's get the zip tie going first. And then we're going to go down. And then we're going to tighten. All I want to do is hook things up and make it run. So I like that. So now continue upwards. Using another zip tie, create a loop. So this is going to go now we're into these, I think. Yes, we are. Not a fan. Did I mention I don't really enjoy cable management a whole lot? And it's crazy too, because some people absolutely love it and they're so good at it. And they should come do all my printers. So we want to zip tie that, insert cable, Z cable, all the cables from the power supply. All right. That's not going to be too bad. So this is going to go up here, like so. And then this is going to come up here, like so. That's a nice bundle. Very nicely done. You know, I am bugged at the moment about that rattle, but I'll get it figured out. All right, so next up, we're gonna continue upwards using another zip tie. And now we're going to include the y-axis. So now, this we're going to set up here. So this is all now going up this ways. So we have another one just on the other side of the belt, and we're gonna keep the same trend. They do have this well thought out. So we need the keep the awesomeness going, and then this is going to straighten out. Come on, y-axis. Get with the program, Y. So I'm just kind of trying to get a little bend going into it, trying to get rid of cable memory just a little bit to help. It'll help things lay a little bit nicer. So I'm not dealing with a pigtail all the time. All right, so that looks better. And again, we're going to take all of this. This is up. That is up. This needs to go in there with them to make sure that's all awesome. And that's awesome. So that all looks good, and now we need to get this in there as well. And I'm going to get it all starting to snug up. Then I will tighten them slightly. So I'm just snugged them a little bit. I don't want it tight, but I don't want it to, yeah, there you go. I like that. I like that. That actually is looking pretty good. Be careful you don't accidentally cut something. So we have one down here, we have one here, and now we just put one up here. And we're working our way up. So now we're doing LCD cable management. And we're pushing them into the aluminum extrusion. Good, that was tough. Don't stretch too much. Bend the cable bundle down for now. Oh, got it. Okay, so now we are going to be all right. This would be easier if I wasn't trying to actually show it on video. So we are now going to be putting these cables into the extrusion here, running them up here, then it's going to come down, and then we're going to flip it over this through this little notch, and then these cables are going to be holding them down. Yeah, that's what we're doing. And I don't know how this is going to work. Not sure I'm liking this. Get the concept. Using the full length, as they say. I am going to use a screwdriver to help press the cables in. Okay, so now the idea is that we are wrapping these up and over like so. And then these, if I can actually get it unhooked, are going to hold it down. That's what it looks like it's going to be. And then there's another, got it. There's another cable tie right on the other side of this that we're going to do the exact same scenario. Ooh, get it. So what you got going on here is you're using this cable tie on both sides of the cable to hold the ribbon cable kind of against the frame, if you will. So then you're going to play with the cable a little bit till you get the loop right. And then of course this mess is going to go up like that. Somebody's really trying to get a hold of me. And they are failing horribly, aren't they? All right, so now what we want to be careful about is that we don't cause any undue bends or whatnot. That should be pretty good, I'm thinking. Maybe not quite the quality in the picture, but pretty darn close. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's right behind the window. Isn't that awesome? I'm slow, but I do figure things out. Okay, so what I did was you had the cable through the extrusion here, right? We don't have too strong of bends. It kind of looks nice. And then it comes out and you're going to be flipping it flat against the bed, up and over, and then there's two holes that are right here for your zip tie, and it's going to go around this side of it, and then and then these cables are going to help hold it down on that side. So yeah, that looks actually really, really nice. And then you don't want to crush the ribbon cable because it's kind of held at the moment. As you can see right here, it's kind of a bigger loop. You don't want to crush it down. Yeah, so there we go. I like that. Slide the zip tie through the circular hole in the frame and create a loop. So now we are at, sorry for the So now we are up to here. So now we're going to place another zip tie, and again on this other side, so you're going to be kind of doing it twice. as this is gonna get held in place. Twist to it, I think. And then they're saying to put how are they recommending it? So they're saying go this way, and we're going to do like this. So I'm kind of making this flat. As you can see, I rotated it around and it's going to be flat to this, I think. And now the cables are going to go over top of it. Is what's going to happen here. And then you just start fiddling with all the wires. And I'm trying to keep the bundle more or less the same. My intent being that I don't want if you start getting the wires all crossed up on themselves, that's what causes things to get all messy and bunched up. That's looking pretty good. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything. So at this point, they're really warning you to be cautious to not overdo it, because the ribbon cables are the things that can get broken the easiest. And so what we're trying to deal with here is balancing between cable control, cable management, and not damaging things in the process. I'm just going to leave it like that, I think. It looks pretty good. And also be careful as you're putting these in there. They actually go in really well. You just stick one edge in, and then you can just kind of poke most of them in there, and it seems to be really nice looking. All right. And they say that that's it. Kind of liking that. It looks like everything's going to be free and clear. I like. So now we are going to flip this back, and we're going to be working on connecting power supply. So maybe I will go like this. Or like this. Or like that. We'll see. That doesn't look terrible. Not exactly super bright, but Okay, so I'm going to stop the video and restart it so I have electronics separate. Okay, so now we'll restart it again. So I don't really see that I'm going to be able to, well, we'll play with it here. Okay, so now we have connecting the heat bed cable bundle. Heat bed cable bundle right here. And if the camera gets in the way, I may end up going back to my other view. Just because it's going to be annoying, I think. Although, no, I'll leave it like that. Okay, sorry, talking to myself. So we're going to use the zip tie to create a loop on the side of the Rambo cover base. Okay, we're basically, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So we're doing the heat bed now. So wow, I did it. So, and then in here, there's a hole, as you can see, and that's where the nylon filament is going to come down into that. So, we are going to trying to juggle too many things at once here. I apologize. I am going to move, since it all seems to be, I am going to move this view back over here though. So we're trying to get this down like that. Aha! I succeeded. And then these come through. So the trick is to use your pliers on the filament, and then you just kind of help use that to wedge down like that, and it slides in pretty easily. And once it's in there, it's holding it nicely. And then we just have to snug these down. And again, I'm just kind of pulling these through because I'd rather zip on those than anything else. Like so. That actually didn't go too bad. And next up, oh, now we're doing some wiring. So we are now noting there is a positive and negative, of course. Positive has the red stripe, negative has no red stripe. So now we're looking for positive and negative on the board itself. So these are all out of the way. These are the two that we're going to be connecting into. And we are making sure positive and negatives are good. You definitely want to make sure you're following the manual because they have the red arrows showing the positive. And they have the red arrow pointing to the far one. And then negative. So that's what we're going to do. So we have two sets of wires. So it says basically so take the green ones and the first two, or take the first cable from the PSU, not the heat bed. And connect. So we have the first assuming they're all stipulate, so they must be all 24 volt taps. What I'm assuming. So we're going to go with trying to make it all neat and tidy. So you want to make sure you do not cross up and use the wrong. You don't want to short out or anything, so make sure your red goes on the first one. Which it is. They do not make this simple. So I just want to verify what I got going on here. Okay, so there's that. They're all open, so I should be able to. I just want to get the first. I want to get the red in place here, and they've got the nice fingers. If you can see, the tip is, you want the tip to go away from the head of the screw. There we go. And then I have a screwdriver here. I'm going to be in your way. Magnet. Once it's in, I'm going to do one last check that it was the red one. I didn't accidentally get crossed up. So you can see it's definitely got red on it. So then the same pair, we're doing the ground now. Go. So those little fingers that I pointed out, the whole point is they kind of help you. It grabs hold of it, and once it snaps in, it just kind of holds it there as you tighten it down. And you don't have to kill the board by tightening it, but you want it nice and tight. All right. Those were annoying, but we succeeded. So now, playing with the wires again so they kind of roll in nicely. And we have the same thing going on round two. Let me verify that it's... So the yellow ones now, the yellow pair, same thing, red and black. Take the second cable from the PSU. Okay. So, go on this side. Of course, the way it's routed, it's got a little twist to it. If you pre-twist them, it helps. Kind of with cable memory, if you will. Just, you don't want to break them. You just kind of help. It helps align things. I don't like how That got a little bit bent at some point. See if we can straighten it a bit. There we go. Don't want it accidentally getting into something that it shouldn't. Again, final confirmation. We are messing with the red one. And it slid right up in there. And now we are snugging it down. For the record, trying to work around this camera. It's the best view I can come up with, and I hope it's okay, but I'm not going to lie to you all. It's kind of annoying. But that's why I get paid the big bucks, right? Oh, wait. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Imagine that. All right, so now we're going to do again a little bit of a twist. And then do a kind of a pre-check of the, oh, I went too far with it. Nice. Okay, so that one's in. Okay, I did my last visual. You can see there's a red, black. They're all good. All right, so now the final one is the last pair from the heated bed. So these are gonna need to go oofda. Yes, I'm from Minnesota. And I don't really say oofda. Not really. So the heated bed carries a lot. So this has got a big load. So we want to make sure it's got a good connection and we're not hitting anything. Come on. So close. Yet so far. No. Someone's fighting me. I'm going to open it up a little bit. Put both of them up. I assume they're both going to fight me. There we go. It wasn't quite opened up enough because they have these the tips of the connector bent to help once you in there. It makes it really nice because it once you kind of snap it up in there instead of flopping right back out, it holds everything in place. Gives a nice solid connection. These are the ones that always fry people's printers, so be very careful. Make sure you get a nice good, get out of my way, bed. Thank you. All right, and the final one. Do I want to come this way? Or do I want to go? Yeah, that'll work. Or do I want to go up and over? No. This is a little, this connector got just a little bit tweaked at some point. So I'm just kind of tightening it or straightening it up just a little bit to make sure I'm not partially closed, because that's what makes it hard to get it up into there. This last one always wants to fight. There it should go. No, I did not. Come on, why isn't it going in there? There. Whoa. Earthquake. All right. So now, trying to get the right angle to get a nice little, and of course you want to put some back pressure onto this because you don't want to snap this board off with a board holder. So there we go. Final check. We have red, black, red, black, red, and black. So unless the directions are wrong, we should be golden. All right, that was probably the harder part, or it's super the simplest part, and yeah, we'll see. All right, now we are well, they're really worried about it. I'm going to read through this now. It says, please note there's a positive and negative polarity of the cables. Always place the strip in the right place. They have two identical. Weird. Always place the cable with the red stripe in the positive slot. See the picture with the red arrows. They have two steps actually, 23 and 24, both say literally the exact same thing. Oh, they're recapping. The first from the PSU goes here. And it goes red. The first with the PSU. This is the second for from the PSU. These are all probably 24 volt lines. And then this is from the heat bed. And they have the red arrow here, the red arrow here, and the red arrow here. Yeah. So they recapped. And they have color coded as well. So hopefully everything works, because otherwise I screwed up and it voids my warranty. And it's captured on video. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Alright, they've got me properly paranoid. Now we're connecting all the motors, X, Y, and Z. Yay! We have motors. I want this to go here. And I think I've changed my mind on the way I, or have I? Yes, I have. It's all about cable management. See, this is that OCD thing. This is why I don't like it. Because I think I'm going to be going like that. So they're all coming out the same side. And We have Z, we have Z, what? Oh yeah, two Z's. And then we have Y, and X is already in there connected up. All right, so really it should be YZZ, not XYZ. So we do X, then Y, then the ZZ. So we now are taking Y, and we are going to run Y up here. And I really wish we had more light. Hold that thought. All right, so there's a little bit better light there. I apologize if the other little video is kind of weird, but should be okay. So we're back to the Y, and now we have better light. And I'm going to use some fancy needle nose work to help line that up and push it in. Careful you don't mess with any of the things. And these are going to go down here. See, I don't want this. I think I just changed my mind again. I'm allowed to do that, you know. I want these to actually, I'm going to feed them around the other side of those wires, I think. The reason why I'm going to do this is I want to make sure that I'm not getting any. So basically I took on the other side of this, you can see the loop here. These are actually rigid because of they're thicker wires, and so I've took these now on this side of it, and I'm going to come up like that, I think. Or wait, even better. This is why I don't like cable management. All the decisions. So I'm going to actually feed them back through this way like I had it, but then come down and around, and I'm going to start feeding them up. So which one's the Y? So here's Y. This is why I'm doing this. So now this is going to be able to, I'll be able to deal with these, and they're protected. So you can see what I did there. I'm coming down around this way. This will help, that way I can zip tie things off. This will close up, and I'll be able to protect the wires, because what I don't want to do is have a chance in anything hitting the bed. So I think I'm going to like that, because that's what they recommend, is that we keep things in this vicinity. So now I'm going to take the two Z connectors one at a time And we're going to do the same basic thing, creating the loop. Do I want it this way or do I want it? I'll add the twist to it. That'll be better. Ooh. Last check to make sure it was actually Z that I was messing with. And the two Z's are side by side. Bingo. And then the last Z. This must be, I just realized there's no fan in this, so they must run pretty cool. All right. So all of those are now in there. So if I pull this, if I pull these all down and in right next to the fuse, that's kind of the direction that they recommended. And this is what they said, so this is good. That looks nice. Phew. You can see that. And they want them to run right next to the fuse there. Once I do some strain relief, you'll see they'll run right next to there. Nice. So what's next? What else do they have for us? PSU power panic and HB heat bed thermistor. So find the black and white twisted pair. So I have that. Figure out which way we're going to go with it here in a second. Okay, so they have us coming up through here and then over to here. we like that. And then this goes this is actually the thermistor for the heat bed, and it apparently goes the top left one. Click. There's not a ton of room for wires, so that should work. So it's the far left one. If you have this kind of a board, there's 3 here. 1, 2, 3. It's the far one closest to the frame. And they have pretty good pictures of it in the manual as well. Now we are connecting the extruder cable bundle. Find the slot for the knotted film you will need. On the next okay. This should be interesting. Not in a good way. So I'm basically trying to mimic what they show in the picture here. So they're basically getting the filament pulled out. Is what's going on. The strain relief. So basically, as you can see, this is what we have happening. You tie here and then you wrap underneath it. So it's going to be standalone. So trying to figure out what we're doing next. So this is going to be the filament hole, it looks like. Okay, understood. So now I can finish wrapping without the following step needs patience. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. push too hard, you're going to break some of them. I think we should be good. So in here you have where the filament's going to go. So we're going to stick the filament through. Once it's through, then we're going to feed through all the bundle through this little annoying spot. So let's see if I can get this set back up right again. Let's see what we do. That'll allow me to move it just a little bit closer as well. So, and I'll move that again if we need to. I'm just trying to get it out of my way because if it requires patience, I'm sure I'm going to run out of it. All right, so we're going to start off by praying. Okay, so the filament part went right in just fine. So that's why they say they're trying to reduce the size as much as possible. So that's why they didn't have you do that part. Because I'm trying to get into there. We'll get it. Good grief. Kids are out playing, so if you hear children screaming, I swear to goodness that they're out there playing. We had snow. It's unbelievable. They're just shrieking out there. So get the cables through first, maybe? Because they go through pretty easy. And then, oh, so close. So I'm going to do this, then add one more roll. Ooh, I think I did it. Just took some time. Some patience. See, that's what they said. Time and patience. And then we gotta wrap these again. Yeah. All right, so hopefully that works. Probably a little bit more than I needed in there, but Sure. All right, well that looks promising. Probably didn't need to be quite as long. Here I could have gone one more, should I? No, that's good. Unless proven otherwise. So now we're doing I apologize for the silence, that's me trying to think. So now we are putting a zip tie through okay. Connecting the extruder cable bundle. Oh no. Okay, we're golden there because we got to get to that spot. Wants all of these. I really want to make sure that I don't have to deal with all of these, so I'm going to get this one first. So I'm just opting, my gut's telling me I should have done the motor first, but the extruder motor, but I'm just following the directions. And now it says the left hot end fan, the black and white cable. It's the black cable is what they said. It's like, fine. Follow your directions. Hopefully it doesn't lead me astray. Okay. Now it wants the extruder thermistor. So many. Like, where is it? So this is going to go here. I'm trying to keep things semi-neat. And the extruder thermistor appears to go this side. It's the right side, far away from the heat bed thermistor. Now we're doing the heater, which is going to be if this goes down and that goes down and this goes down, then I can loop. I want this repositioned. Just makes everything neater once we're done. It's that whole OCD thing. So everything's gonna play there. And now this is going to plug in and theoretically kind of hold these down. Like so. That'll kind of just press everything in there. Now we're going to do the filament sensor cable. Which is this guy. There's two, basically, under the motherboard connector that you'll see you'll see a connector that's got 2 rows of pins. They want you to use the lower pins, and it looks like the white cable is on the left towards the frame. Now the pin to probe goes into the connector above the daughter board. And with the exception of the extrude, oh, what do we got here? Oh, wrong one. Dewey. That's why you always want to pay attention to what you're doing. I just grabbed the nearest one and that was the wrong one. This is the, should be the extruder. This is the extruder motor. This is the one I wanted for the pin to probe. And as I said, this is actually the connector above. And then the hardest one to get to, which is the only one that I was not going to follow their directions, is I think that personally, I think the extruder should be put in first. Sorry for the... So if you can see all of this, trying to not be so bouncy. So really what you got going on is this is the heat bed thermistor. This is your the green white stripe one here is your extruder thermistor. These two down here are your fans. This is the filament sensor here. Up here you've got the pinda sensor. Yeah, the only one that's left has to go all the way back into here. It's got a hole for it, but if we did that first, I think it would have been easier. So anyway, that's the one I'm putting together right now. I just need to get my... Ooh. There we go. So you need to have a little bit of cell phone lightage and memory. Cable memory is going to play key for snaking this thing through here. Oh, the angles in the light. Well, this isn't bad, it's just... Oh, I think I just think that if you did this one first, wouldn't have this. I don't think it would lay quite as nicely, but yeah, I know why they did it the way they did, but whatever. I followed the directions. I didn't write them. They did fabulous, so I'm not going to complain. Well, I guess I am complaining, but whatever. I don't think I may not need that anymore. So, we'll get rid of that in a second. So I think we got all that good. And now we have, heck, popping, cracking. I'm going to have bulbs exploding on me. Wow, it feels like it got really dark all of a sudden. So maybe I will leave that on for the moment. Shame I didn't do that at the beginning. All right, so now we have 2 LCD is like all that's left. Ish. So we have a 1 and a 2, which we, part of the step earlier, we had to verify. So we're going to take the LCD cable with 1 stripe is going to go there. I'm going to put the one with 2 first, because it will be easier, I think. So this is the daughter board, so just kind of be careful, don't overly crush it. Just trying to feed these through in a slightly different way to ensure that everything's going to be kept well. Okay. So the pink should be, you can't see it, but the pink edges will be up. Just, you'll see it when you get close to it. Pink should be up, just like in the manual. And good. Verify all the connections once more. All that is good, I know. Pin to probes, filament sensor, power panic. Reset button on the top, we're good. We want to close the board now, making sure no wires get pinched. And we're going to rotate this. It's suddenly so much easier to rotate. So now you're just taking the last remaining screw, and you had a little square nut that went into there that holds all this together. Beautiful. closed nicely. We don't have anything bunched up, so it's not like I had to force it closed. I mean, it holds itself nicely closed, all because we spent the extra time. This stuff over here is a little less awesome than I would have liked, but not bad. I may put a zip tie or something at some point on that. We'll see. And we've already did the feet because I fought them the entire build and I don't like that one. We've already covered that. Oh, the thing I've been waiting for, the spool holder. So let's, well, we'll put this. Find the spool holder in the package. Let the tooth sit on the frame, then press the direction of the arrow. So it's going to come back like this. And it scares me. So it's supposed to do this. I succeeded. Hear that rattle? Still may annoy me, but we'll see. All right, next step. And I didn't break the board. Hooray! Woo! We've just assembled the original Prusa i3 Mark III 3D printer. You're almost there. Pre-flight check. Anybody else excited? I'm freaking stoked. Yay! All right, I am going to end this video now. It looks like the assembly is complete. The only thing left is going to be actually doing pre-flights and calibrations, and that's going to be its own video. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. And let's see if I can put this here. So, yep. I'm going to swing this over. I've got some spare parts. I've got power cable, which I will use eventually here. We have lights off. Yes, there you go. i3 Mark III Prusa complete. So I did not put the bed on it yet. We'll get to that probably in the next video. Alrighty, we'll see you in the next video, and we get to do the plug it in and do some pre-flights. Thank you much, and thanks for watching.